My name is Marlon. Been in the media tech space for longer than I care to admit. Since high school, grew up around media and entertainment. My dad was a musician, had a bit of a success early on, and then became a struggling musician as he didn't want to be a session musician, as some of his former bandmates. My mom was an actress, model, so also was in music videos, and then did some personal management. And then I spent most of my time growing up in LA, right off the Sunset Strip, off of 4th Avenue, where Terra Records used to be. So I grew up in that whole 80s and 90s glam rock, and the big music scene that was going on there. So
you were destined to be in music.
Music's in my blood. But yeah, as I mentioned, got into media, multimedia, media tech, whatever you want to call it, in high school. The high school I went to, was fortunate enough to be running the cable TV stations, the local TV stations on cable. We actually ran them out of the high school. So we had a weekly news program that we did the journalism department. We live streamed our football games back in the 90s before live streaming was a thing. 5-camera setup. It was awesome. Cool. Produced a show called LA Scene, which showcased the hot spots of LA and time. So really got into broadcast. We had a radio station as well, so did some radio DJing there. And then the internet was around, Prodigy, AOL, and all that, the beginnings of the internet, and always like computers. I got a Commodore 64 and a Radio Shack TRS-80, copying programs from magazines. So with all that, into computers, internet, music, film, all of that, really wanted to get into multimedia, production, which was the buzz back then. The thing was like CD plus, CD interactive, CDs for bands. So didn't go the traditional route for college right away. Went up to Vancouver. Vancouver Film School had an awesome new multimedia production program, where we learned computer graphics for 2 months, audio productions. We became Pro Tools certified. Did that for 2 months. Video productions, became Avid certified. Did that, and did web design as well. And then the last 2 months, we tied it all together and did portfolios. So I was trying to find a gig after that with their portfolio. Worked for a couple of web agencies in web design, but multimedia was kind of dying out. And so I moved down to Arizona to find something new. I was about to take a job at a ISP doing web design for some of their companies. And right before I accepted, I heard news that 20th Century Fox was opening a animation studio in Phoenix. And applied to that and got in at the low level, and that kicked off I want to say 15, 20-year career in everything computer graphics. So worked at Fox on the digital side. We worked on Titan AE, Anastasia. Titan AE was the first hybrid traditional animation CG animation, animated feature film. Fortunately, Bill Mechanic, the head of Fox, got fired, and that was his baby. He came from Disney. So as soon as they fired him, they closed down the studio, but kind of fell forward because DreamWorks came around and interviewed everybody and got offered a job at a new company they acquired called PDI up in the Bay Area. And PDI had been around for 20 years doing spinning logos. They created more for the Michael Jackson black and white video, all kinds of cool stuff, visual effects. But they were working on a little movie at the time called Shrek. So I joined in the middle of production of that, leading the technology teams. Spent 3 years there working on all the Shreks, all the Madagascars films, and Spirit, Sinbad, all the movies that came out of the Glendale studio as well, because they were using our tools. Spent some time at Lucasfilm, had my own consulting company for a while, doing animation pipeline, production management software, and all that. So spent time overseas.
That's crazy. I probably should have asked the question, what haven't you done, honestly?
Trying to make
no,
it short.
super cool.
Yeah, long story short, I've worked on the CG side, everything from like handheld games from Nintendo TS to TV animated shows like Clone Wars to console games like Force Unleashed, feature films like Rango, Shrek. And then when I left Lucas, I joined a company in Detroit called Real Time Technologies that did real time rendering and a lot of computational tools. So we did all of the when you go to like Chevy.com or Cadillac, GM was our biggest client. We did all the online configurators. So if you want to build out your new Corvette, like all the imagery and all the logic behind creating, making sure all the right components, all that. We did all that, and then we did all their CG stuff. Yeah, and to wrap it up,
how'd you end up? Yeah, so how'd you end up making it onto the DeSo atmosphere and getting into the decentralization platform? So
it came through the streaming side. So when I left that company at RTT, I was actually trying to recruit a friend there, and he was, in Los Gatos Hills. There was no way he was moving to Detroit. So he reverse recruited me to an online video platform called Uyala. And I've been doing streaming ever since. Work for a company called Globant now, and been deploying, OTT, so streaming apps for a lot of the big providers through Globant and Uyala, and seeing some of them struggle. The only ones that really make money are Netflix and Amazon's. Everybody else is more of a lost leader, and seeing the gaming world, how they were clever with the monetization side, and that music could use some of that, and a TV movie side. I've always pondered in the back of my mind how to make that happen for music. And then during the pandemic, I'm down in Austin, live music capital of the world, right? And all the venues shut down, and of course, all the musicians were struggling because that's a big part of their earnings, right? And I set up a local site called ATX Music Fan that allowed fans of bands to tip them through PayPal, Venmo, etc. And they were doing live streams and all that. And right around that time, came across the DeSo world, listening to a couple of my favorite podcasts back to back. So the All In podcast. So with Chamath being one of the investors, he was talking about it, and then Sam Parr and Sean Perry at My First Million. Sean was all excited about creator coins and how much money he was making that first weeks. And so I hopped on right away in the early days. I think it was March last year, maybe April. So about a year now, over a year. And then the more, at first I was just interested in the creator coins and all that and the creator economy. But the more I learned about it, I thought, hey, I could use this and turn ATX Music Fan into a wider thing and do what I always wanted to do, which was bring the monetization piece to the artist side, and with the creator coins and the tipping and the social piece, so sharing music, it all kind of fit together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So side question, is it Mouse AI or Moose AI?
It's Mousai. Yeah, nothing to do with the mouse.
Okay. Yeah. So is Mousai part of the Octane Fund as well?
It's not part of the Octane, but it did receive a grant. Mousai itself, so the meaning, it actually comes from Greek. So the Mousai and Mousai were the Greek goddesses of poetry and art and music, and also the World Book of Knowledge and of all things. So between
cool.
them being the goddesses of music and all of art, the Book of Knowledge thing was interesting to me as well. Being on the blockchain and everything's on a blockchain, that's like the record keeping. So there's the definition again, or where that name came from. But yeah, remembered all things that had come to pass. So I thought that was perfect, for the blockchain side.
That's what's
and the whole and the whole purpose, like we were talking about earlier, is like finding ways for musicians to earn revenue. They kind of get screwed with the streaming economy. Music's been completely commoditized. There's no value behind it. And like we were joking before people joined, my dad was a musician, and I've seen the highs and the lows. So my dad was in a band in the 70s that at the time had the largest advance from a label. It was $250,000, which doesn't sound like a lot these days, but back then it was. So, we were living at the Waldorf Astoria, shopping at Harrods in London, and then it went from that to being, the poor musician eating like hot dogs and like beans like the rest, his live and sandwiches. And it's like the ups and downs. I've always tried to rack my brain on how we solve for that. It shouldn't be the case. And even with Spotify, right, only 1% really make money there.
Exactly, yeah.
The 99% out there don't.
Yeah, so you want to go ahead and just kind of walk us through? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there's a couple more, and then I'll walk you through quickly. So the whole idea with Mousai,
Awesome.
right, is, there's the streaming side, and there's NFT platforms out there. You can sell your royalties. There's stream to own. Mousai is aiming to be like the first one that can monetize your whole stack of fans, what we call the fan pyramid, right? And this is all thanks to like the primitives that DeSo provides. So there's the creator coins, right? So the speculators that maybe aren't even a fan, but they know you're going to be the next big thing. They want to invest in your creator coin and go on that ride. You can do that, and you get your founders reward based on the percentage you set, right? Then for your casual fans that maybe like a song that they heard in a playlist, there is the tipping, right? The diamonds that they can throw your way. Then there's the stream to own component that we don't have in there yet, but this is what we're really excited about, and all the artists that I've been talking to is excited about. The stream to own model is where the first time a user plays a track, they'll get charged deducted like 0.002 every time they listen to that same track. That doubles for 9 plays. After 9 plays, they've spent about the equivalent of $1, and now they can download that track. They don't have to pay for it anymore, and the musicians or the artists will get most of that, right? So even on Apple, it's 70%. We're going to aim for 90% of the allocation. So for them, it's like selling an album, and compared to the streaming platforms, in 9 plays, what they would earn from that would be like their equivalent of like 300 or 400 plays on other platforms out there that pay the most, like Tidal. If you're talking about YouTube, forget about it. And then you have the NFT side, right? So that's for your super fans, and then for the cult fans, you could have like a one of one NFTs, right? The ones that'll spend a couple grand for whatever it is. We don't have to go through these. I'll go right into the demo. When you go to Mousai.stream right now, we don't have a landing page. You get dropped right in. I'm already logged in. So this is this homepage or discover page. In addition to music, we've got podcasts now as well. It started out with one podcaster reaching out. It's like, hey, can I put my stuff up? And put that up, and a week later we had like 10 podcasters reaching out, mostly from the DeSo community, which is fantastic, and that's getting a lot of play. Starting to get a lot of playlists.
I see some familiar faces over there.
Yeah, it's me. If you're in the DeSo crowd, you'll know a lot of these. Then we have playlists. So these are all the playlists, public playlists. So some of these are curated by us at Mousai. Some of them are Mousai users creating them. There's actually some really good ones out there. Goldberry has a great playlist. Disdain Music History Diane, she has a great playlist as well. But yeah, best is to just play around. New artists or like the new artists that have signed up. If you click on them, some of them may not have tracks yet because they just signed up. And then popular tracks are the tracks with the most plays since Mousai has launched. So you can see who's got the most there. Then we used to do a featured artist. We're going to bring this back as well, where we post on the socials, on DeSo, our artist of the week or of the month. And then popular artists, similar to tracks, artists, albums, etc. It's based on plays and what's been trending. If you click on any thumbnail, it'll add the album or the playlist to the queue over here. You could also right click anywhere and you could follow an artist or add something to your playlist or create a new playlist, add it to a queue, or share it. All the socials, including DeSo, right? I'll send an image as well. You can also embed anything, so an album, a playlist, a track on any site, and it'll play. It doesn't work on DeSo nodes right now, but there is a PR that Lazy Nina and team are reviewing, working through a couple little minor issues, but any DeSo node should be able to have these as well soon, which is awesome. I think that's going to be a game changer for us instead of just seeing the link in the feed. On the left, typical navigation like Spotify, you can browse artists by genres, new releases, the albums, all the podcasts. Down here on the left nav is your library. So if you favorite a song or an album, if you do stream to own, once you own it, it'll be in here as well. And then any playlist that you create will be here as well with a quick nav to that. If you're an artist, once you're registered and signed up and been approved, if you click your name, I'm an artist on here. So I get the artist view. If you go to more, edit, you can add your genres, any links to your homepage, to your profiles, wherever, your biography, update your image, add a new album, upload from here, etc. Make it really easy. Go back to the homepage. Again, once you're an artist and you've been approved, just hit the upload button and you can drag a folder on there or an individual track or choose a file to upload. I'll drop one real quick on there. And you'll see this bar. Once it uploads, it'll try to fill in as much of the metadata it can from what's in the file, and then you can update it, add an image, and then just hit submit and save, and then it'll be added to your artist profile page.
That's super cool. This is so awesome. I haven't gotten to demo it myself, so this is awesome.
And then it's not just audio, it's video as well. So this track doesn't have video to it, but you can toggle the mode, or you can go full screen if you want. It's got all player. You can scrub all the standard functionality you would find in any kind of player. Let's see what else to show you. You can skip through again from here. Right click or clicking on the three dots. You have all your options. But now, the important stuff's the monetization, right? So Sly, MP3, as he's known in the DeSo world, met him in LA for DeSo anniversary. Thanks how you say it. Cool guy. If I want to tip him, I like his song Gravity. So just click the diamond anywhere next to an artist's name, and let's send him 2 diamonds right now. And boom, it's direct into his DeSo account. And also in the feed, the Mousai bot profile will send out a little post, that I tipped Sly, so it'll tag him as well. So that's that kind of viral component. If you click an artist's name, right, it goes to their artist page. You can see his coin holders. If I want to buy into his coin, just hit buy coin. put in the amount, buy now. That'll be, and I can buy it. We've recently integrated NFTs as well. Call them collectibles. So if you click on the collectibles, any NFTs that MP3 has created on the DeSo platform should be here. And you can buy them from here as well. Pretty soon, we're going to add the ability to create directly from the Mousai platform as well. But here you'll see the listings if it's like one of one, or how many, any offers, current owners. If it's available for buy now, we'll have to buy now or bidding. But yeah, I think this covers most of the main components. One of the things we're working on right now is, like I mentioned, the creation of the NFTs directly in here. We want to partner up with a couple of our friends on DeSo and doing some music NFTs and do a launch around that. We have mobile apps coming soon. We may have to just release those direct, so on iOS through test flight, and from Android like a APK, because of the monetization issues. Might not get through the store, unfortunately. We've got the apps; they work great. It's just,
right? Yeah, exactly. But getting them approved, whole nother story.
So
I feel that.
Yeah, working around that.
That's
and the
awesome,
the other thing we're doing right now is integrating more of the social component as well. So we have a node, but it's mostly the Mousai stuff on our feed, like what we're posting. But we want to separate from that and actually put it like in the artist page where you can see the recent posts, and with the group messaging functionality that's coming, right, where have artists be able to chat with their fans directly on their page, and then set up groups for like genres, etc. So really build that community, not around artists, but the fans themselves, among themselves. And then, of course, the NFTs, right? We can start doing more creative things there as well, with the gated events around coin holders or buying an NFT. And then, just the NFTs itself, the possibilities are endless in terms of like digital merchandise or cover art. We'd like to even get into ticketing. So IRL in-person ticketing, right? Maybe even have that part of our mobile app, where if you buy the NFT, you can quickly pull it up in the Mousai app, and you go to the venue, and it'll come up with the QR code or whatever it is. But yeah, I'm excited.
No, I mean, honestly, you got me super excited. This is so awesome. Really appreciate the little demo and the tour and stuff. I'll kind of go ahead and run through some of these questions that the audience has been dropping. The first one Michael asked, I think he said which band. I think he was asking which band was your dad a part of?
Yeah, it was a band called Backstreet Crawler. So Backstreet Crawler, it was the follow-up to the band Free. So if you know the song All Right Now. Free broke up because Paul Kossoff had substance abuse problems, and Paul Rogers and Andy Fraser, the bass player, couldn't get along in terms of egos, and he got the credit. So Paul Rogers and Simon Kirk was the drummer for Free. They started a band called Bad Company, which most people know. So with their success, right, when Paul Kossoff was ready to get back in the studio and put together a band, Atlantic came and was ready to.
That's super neat. That's super neat. Wow. So you've been dang, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, Costa's problems continued, and he actually died in an airplane. So they had a show in LA, I think it was the Starwood Club, and they got on a flight to head to New York for a meeting with Atlantic Echo, and he OD'd or something on the flight, heart failure, and that was the end of that. And then, as I said, with my dad, he had success with them, and he played with Johnny Nash, the David Bowie Lulu sessions, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Johnny Winter, Rick Derringer, but he never really wanted to be a session musician, like the other guys in Backstreet Crawler, like Tony Bronigal, he's a drummer. He went on to be like the biggest drummer in the blues scene. He played like Bonnie Raitt and Taj Mahal and has multiple Grammys, playing on albums and as a producer now. But yeah, my dad never wanted to do the session thing. He really wanted to do his own music. He thought session players played the same things on release albums.
Fair enough.
Yep. Yeah.
So one of the other questions was, is there a way to be able to send DeSo aside from just tipping in diamonds? Or is that maybe a potential feature down the road?
That could be a potential feature down the road. I don't think we actually have that on the roadmap without. That's a good one. And based on the current implementation of diamonds, although it's treated as diamonds in the UI, we're actually sending the equivalent in DeSo in the back end, because we can't send diamonds as someone else, right? And it has to be sent to an account.
Got you. Yeah.
I think that it's doing the same thing with Quartify.
Okay, got you. Dylan said Mousai is going to flip Spotify for sure.
Yeah. And on that, like the initial goal, right, is to be like Cassius came up with this on the when I was on the Pop and Crypto. His show was the SoundCloud of Web3. So at first it's really getting after the independent artists, right? They're kind of struggling out there, getting them some monetization. I think SoundCloud limits you like to 10 tracks, or now it's duration, and then you have to like pay. Like, why do I have to pay to put my music up? And you don't even let me monetize, right? So getting those guys flipped over, and then once we have the stream to own, right, then we can really get some of the majors in there, because now there's more revenue. Like, you can't pay royalties really on microtransactions, right?
For sure.
But once we have the stream to own, right, then we could get like the rights holders and some of the bigger artists on there too. And then, yeah, Spotify will be gone. We'll take them down.
That's amazing. And yeah, by the way, for anybody in the audience, if you guys have any questions, you can drop them in a room chat, or if you want to raise your hand, I'd be happy to bring you guys up to stage. But yeah, one of the questions I have in regards to like the overall, like, what kind of users are you looking to bring on? Like, does it not matter if it's podcasters or musicians, or are you more focused on musicians?
It started out more on the musicians side, but podcasters have great success, and they really love the platform, and there really isn't any monetization for podcasters either, besides like ads, right, and sponsors. So this is new in that world. And then long term, I'd like to expand it even more. Don't want to lose the musician focus, so and that's where it all started, but love to do things like being able to and maybe this is around the NFTs, right, like doing music lessons and maybe even like audiobooks, and live streaming is coming as well. We can actually support live streams, like live HLS streams currently. It just has to be set up on the back end, but yeah, having artists being able to go live at any time, that's coming soon too, and I think that could be a game
That's
changer.
Going to be awesome. Oh, that's so cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Also, one of the other questions was, is there a room where musicians can kind of have jam sessions together to create music, or a place for other musicians and artists to collaborate?
Not yet, but that's coming as well. Part of it is on the group messaging thing. One is just the chatting, but also still need to work out exactly the details and how this might work. But I've been chatting with the guys at Vibe Hut and doing stuff there where we can create rooms around genres and collaboration there. And yeah, production tools. That's definitely something to think about, but probably more longer out. But
got you.
Yeah.
And then
there's nothing being able to stop us like from sharing stems
doing it all
or something. Yeah, it's just trying to fit it all with who we have.
No, I feel that.
Dylan, Alex is out there. It's Octane fun.
I love it. Yeah, I just brought Caleb up to stage. I'm going to probably try to finish up those questions from the room chat, and then we'll see what Caleb's got. But one of the other questions was, how are independent artists protected from being duplicated? Are there, music or podcasts being duplicated without their permission? Is there like a verification process?
Yeah, there is a verification process for artists when you sign up. So you can't just upload it as a user. You have to click the become an artist. I'm pointing, but you can't see there. And you go through that. We ask for a profile. It's optional, but we ask for some information like connect to your Facebook or Twitter account, right? It's something that we can verify, or your DeSo account, we can verify that if you don't provide that information. And then the difference, and this is the debate and the battle between like the Web3 decentralization maxis and something like DeSo, which is somewhat of a hybrid, and I'm thinking a hybrid approach as well, where Audius stores everything on chain. And if you follow Audius, they've gotten into some issues where a lot of the material, possibly most of their catalog, is pirated stuff that's been taken down from SoundCloud. Similar, we're currently not storing the tracks on chain, so we can remove those easily if need be.
Got you. So I guess this kind of rolls into the next question that Hybrid asked was, can artists like sell tracks as NFTs? So maybe that would be like an option to put their track on the blockchain?
Yep, and they can even do that now. They just have to create the NFT in one of the like Diamond app or any of the platforms out there, NFT zones, and then I'll display here. But yeah, soon we'll have the ability to create the NFTs directly from the Mousai app, and once we're still working out the details on the stream to own side, but right now we're leaning towards exactly what you're thinking, where those tracks will likely be treated more as NFTs on chain, and then the idea there is to make sure like all the analytics and plays and all of that are on chain as well, so people can verify. And that's part of the problem with the Hollywood accounting right now. Right? Like it's pretty hilarious, and like my dad went through that. Like my dad passed away, so I'm dealing with it now. It's like just publishing rights getting ripped off, sure. And the guys claiming like ownership, and like even getting proper tracking of those songs and all that is a nightmare right now.
Yeah, it's sad how brutal the music industry is out there right now. So hopefully, like Mousai can bring it back to its glory. But yeah, so Mr. Triplet also asked, I think he may have missed earlier, but any plans for video content? Obviously, yeah, you could answer that.
In terms of like music videos or just videos in general? Like music videos?
I'm not exactly sure, because you were saying earlier that the podcasts already have videos attached to them and stuff.
Yeah, and if a track has like a music video, that's there too. And yeah, I want to expand to like live streaming for the videos and like doing music lessons and all that. But yeah, as I said, opening to expanding that as well too. I mean, right now my day job is in the video streaming business, so I can imagine down the line that we'll probably do something similar for the video side as well. So I have a lot of thoughts there on how OTT can be improved, like the whole AVOD. So everybody's tired of the subscription or advertising model, right? So the younger folks, they've grown up like on Netflix, they hate ads, right? So going to advertising-based platform isn't going to work. And then the whole idea of OTT apps was to unbundle and do a la carte, but nobody realized that you now got to like subscribe to 6-7 different OTT apps to get all the content that you want. And hey, look, now what you're spending on all the OTT apps is $100, right? You could have just had cable and had better quality streams. So I think there's definitely room for improvement there. And again, like learning from the gaming side, flipping on its head, like being able to like theme your player with your like favorite actor or show or whatever. You get that.
Facts, yeah.
So yeah, that's in the plan.
Perfect. Hopefully that answered the question. If anybody else has any questions, if they drop them in a room chat, or you can raise your hand, I can bring you up to stage.
Yeah, if you don't want to do it here, like on stage, or if you think of it later, feel free to drop me a DM or even on chain at Mousai or at Marlon JM2K on DeSo.
Hey, what's up, Marlon? I was wondering, I think I missed this. What inspired the name Mousai? Like, why that name? Is it like a play on your name, or is it just something else?
Nope, I'll go back to get the full definition. But yeah,
it's actually a pretty cool explanation.
Yeah. So it's Greek. So the Mousai were the Greek goddesses for like music, song, and dance and poetry, and they were also like the goddesses of knowledge who like stored everything. So the combination of like being on the blockchain, like the storing of knowledge, and then of course like the goddesses of music, I thought it was a perfect fit for a Web3 music streaming app.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's perfect. And I'm curious.
It's gonna be one of those weird names until it blows up, and then everything's like
right,
Yahoo
right.
or Google, right?
Yeah, I to be honest, I wasn't trying to pronounce it at first either, but I mean, once you get it, you get it. So it's pretty nice. I love that. Man, like my questions are more related to like you like personally, because I was looking at your background and you explained this a little bit earlier, but I'm curious, why do you choose to get into the music side of things on in this world of Web3 as opposed to utilizing some of your other background, like I see you have some experience with like visual effects, 3D rendering, etc. Why did you decide not to go down that path?
Yeah, I mean, music's always been a passion. Grew up around it, and then like the more recent experience, like the last 10 years or so, have been all around the streaming space. And you may have missed it earlier, but like the whole music idea started during the pandemic when all the venues are shut down, and I live down in Austin, the music capital of the world. I was trying to help out the artists, so put up a site, which was the initial like concept of the site called ATX Music Fan, and it allowed people to send artists tips through PayPal Me, Cash App, Venmo, that kind of thing, and then stumbled upon DeSo right at the same time. I thought it was a perfect timing to turn it into something bigger.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where do you see this platform like being in a couple of years from now? Like, are you trying to directly compete with some of the platforms out right now? Obviously, right, this is a decentralized alternative to some of the things we have now. Yeah. Somebody mentioned Spotify, right? I think that is obviously the long term. People don't like Spotify because of the fact that it's the epitome of the Web 2 mindset, and it's ripping everybody off. So, but it's realistically, Spotify is going to be around for a very long time because it's incredibly and absolutely convenient. But how do you see Mousai taking their place in a couple of years when DeSo picks up? Like, what is it that you are going for? Where is Mousai going?
Yeah, it's a better place for artists and fans, right? So, I mean, no matter how Spotify tries to spin their numbers, and they just have, I forgot what it's called, the report where they try to spin how many royalties they pay out, right? But they don't really cover the details that isn't direct to artists. That's actually to the rights holders, mostly record companies, and then the record companies still screw the artist. So better experience for the artist, but then also from the fan, bring in that social aspect and bringing value back to music, not just music itself in terms of monetization, but as an experience. And I mean, Spotify is going to be around. SoundCloud will probably be around. Right now, I mean, SoundCloud, it's more of a SoundCloud of Web3, right, for the independent artists until we get that stream to own in place. And I think we'll have the the revenue to work more in the current rights model. Then we could more go head on with Spotify. And then there's Audius, right? I mean, that's the most direct competitor in the blockchain Web3 space for audio streaming. But I mean, what they say and what they've done or shown in the last 4 or 5 years that they've been around is completely apart, right? Like they say, oh, we're going to give 90% of our revenue to artists, but 90% of zero is zero, right? They're not monetizing anything currently. The only monetization they've had is throwing some of their tokens to some of their OG artists and their bigger investors, right? And they're building a model again where the monetization that's in place there is like they give some tokens to like the weekly top 5, but that top 5 always is going to favor like the dead mouse and whoever the top artists on their platform are, right? Not the independents. So they're basically building the same model in Spotify. So we want to flip that on its head, and that's going to be our value prop.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have one more question for you, and then I'll just kind of hand it over. But so, like, I heard a couple different things, but one thing, can you see Mousai kind of becoming a sort of platform in the same way that DeSo is, right? Obviously, there's DeSo integration into this, so you're already like kind of hooked into the DeSo blockchain and using it the way that DeSo was supposed to be used anyways, right? But how do you see, how do I put this? Like Spotify and SoundCloud are 2 separate platforms, right? Can you see Mousai being a sort of platform where people take, some sort of base foundation you guys give out and then they just kind of reskin it, right? Do you see that sort of possibility?
Yeah, we're actually thinking about that a lot right now. I mean, we do have the APIs in place, and we've got the embedding function coming up as well. So any artist can actually, take their playlist, their album, their track, and embed it on any site. And this is something that Audius has done really cleverly, right? Like the numbers that they talk about are primarily driven through their integration with TikTok, not actual users that go to the Audius site. It's like streams and other platforms. So we definitely want to do that integration. The challenge that we're dealing with is how do we make sure that we're still staying true with providing that monetization to the artists, right? So again, using the Audius example, they say we're going to give 90% of revenue to artists, but then they partner with TikTok and they're giving all of their artist tracks for free with no monetization, right? So we're trying to solve for that. And that, like with our embedding function, like the diamonds work. So we're hoping like we can do that with the stream to own model as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for chatting. Good to meet you, Marlon.
Thank you. That's a great question.
Yeah, Kit, thanks for coming up and asking questions. There are a few more questions over in the room chat that popped up. Mr. Triplett said, dumb question, more like a funny question, honestly, but is there going to be an Alexa integration down the road so somebody could say, hey, Alexa, play.
That is on our roadmap. Yeah. Yeah, definitely is.
That's great.
We think that's actually key to get traction, to get Alexa on Google Home.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a project that used to be on DeSo that was doing voice stuff. I can't remember the name of it. And I think they dropped off DeSo, unfortunately, but I was going to go after them to see if they can.
That would have been cool.
We'll make it happen.
No, that's awesome. And then, one of the other questions from Dawn, is there any way or is there anything the project needs today to get where you want it to be? Like, are there any roadblocks or challenges that you have to overcome before you get it to where you want it to be?
Right now, it's time. In terms of the technology side, there hasn't been actually that many roadblocks, or if there have been, we've found workarounds, like the diamond thing we were talking about earlier, right? Where it's not actually sending diamonds, it's sending DeSo under the hood. But yeah, right now it's time and funding. So for any investors out there, we're actually going to start going around with the deck for our seed round pretty soon.
Awesome. No, that's super exciting. And then, to answer one of Mr. Triplet's other questions, there is an app for Mousai coming out, right?
Yep. So we're actually testing both Android and iOS. They'll probably have to be released through test flight and as an APK download because of the getting them approved in the store is hard with the monetization aspect to it.
Absolutely. Other than that,
and it's competing with their platforms as well, so like YouTube Music and
then so one of the other questions was, can you be onboarded to DeSo through Mousai?
Yes, you can. Actually, and that's one of the newer features, and we have to do the profile creation through Mousai in order for you to be able to do the diamonds. So yeah,
Gotcha.
And then it's not the best onboarding experience, and that's one of our focuses is improving that onboarding, so creating that profiles and being able to edit your DeSo profile and all that on here. But yeah, if you like to register login thing from here, you can register through DeSo with your Gmail address or with the key, but then we'll ask you a few questions about like the minimum requirements for creating a profile on DeSo.
Got you. And then is there a possibility for like attaching the referral link from DeSo to where you could earn DeSo through referrals?
Yeah, we're looking at that as well, and we have a node line underneath it as well. So that's definitely something we're looking into, the whole refer a friend thing as well.
Awesome. Well, we're coming up on the hour here in a few minutes, but other than that, if anybody has any other questions, you can raise your hand or drop them in a room chat. But this is an awesome platform. Let us know if there's any way anybody in the community can support you or any of the artists, obviously, on the platform as well. And then as well, definitely drop contacts if anybody wants to reach out.
Yeah, so on DeSo is definitely at Mousai or at Marlon JM if you want to reach out to me there. DM me there. If you go to our profile, you'll see all the other profile information as well, like our Discord server. You can hop in there and ask any questions. If you're an artist out there, I mean, this is all about the artists and getting you onboarded and then monetizing your content and getting it out there, getting you discovered. So yeah, feel free to reach out directly. It could help you get onboarded. I think it's a pretty simple process, but it's never as easy as one would like. So definitely help there as well. And then, if you're an investor, like I mentioned, the biggest blocker right now is time, dedicated time from myself, and we have a couple part-time developers. So once we get that funding in place, we can step on the gas. The biggest thing we're missing outside of the development piece, right, is the marketing and community aspect. So that's going to be one of the first hires. We wanted to get a solid foundation product that's usable, right, an MVP, before we threw gas on the fire and going all out with the marketing, right? We didn't want that first experience to be a bad experience, but I think it's in a pretty decent place where we can start pouring that gas. And like you mentioned, is built on DeSo, but it's not just for DeSo. Right? We want to open it up to the music lovers, music fans, artists all over the world, right? And be that bridge, that Web 2 to Web 3 bridge for music.
For sure. And then in regards to the fundraising, are you planning on doing a crowdfunding round, or just keeping it simple through WeFunder or Republic or any of those campaign or companies?
Yeah, we're discussing a couple options. One is more traditional route. The other is through a DAO, so with DAO plug for DeSo, and then the other option is like a crowdfunding. If we do our crowdfunding, it would probably be a DAO. It'd probably be a hybrid of traditional, but maybe some allocation through a DAO or WeFunder or something like that.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for everything, and then obviously thanks to the audience for popping in. And I honestly think this platform is awesome. Definitely gonna be playing around with this more. We're gonna have to upload some of the Entre podcasts up on here
for
as
sure.
well. So
Yeah.
those will be coming up there soon.
Awesome.
But yeah, other than that, really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Say
It was
that
great
again?
chatting with you and everybody out there. Thanks for joining and the great questions.
Awesome.
And, sign up if you haven't. Mousai.stream. MOUSAI.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I'll drop the link in the room chat again.
And I'd love to hear
Perfect.
feedback, right? If you run into any issues, if you have any ideas, a lot of them came out today. Just shoot them my way, like on chain, as a DM, and Discord, wherever, on Twitter.
Perfect. All right, everybody. You guys have a great night. Appreciate it again. Seriously. You guys take care.
If you'd like to connect and network with other like-minded people, entrepreneurs, investors, freelancers, and startups, check out our app or go to our website, joinentre.com. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. If there's anything that we can do to help you, please reach out to us and let us know.